Okay. Hi, and welcome to Love Your Dog. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, I wanted to come on and give you some secrets, some tips, some ways to have you have a healthier, happier relationship with your dog, which is the best relationship you can have, right? So let's get started. Let me share my screen here. Da, da, da. There we go. Hope you all can see that. So love your dog. Happy Valentine's Day. So good relationship starts with good communication. You can't have a good relationship without good communication. It hinges on that. And your dog is no different. Misunderstandings are easy, especially when you live with someone that is a different species, speaks a different language, has different customs. It can get kind of convoluted. So I want to give you some secrets that I've learned over the past decades and hundreds of thousands of dogs and owners I've worked with. I don't think I can count that high. And we all know that a dog is for life. And so is the training and the learning. I crossed out training because it's really learning. It's about them doing it because they want to do it, not because we're forcing them to do it or they're doing it out of fear or retribution. They're doing it because it becomes a habit and they want to do it. So these techniques work for all ages, all breeds, all dogs, all species, whether it's a rescue dog, brand new puppy, the solutions are the same. And this is my little puppy, Harrison, in the top there with our puppy Cooper. Gosh, I think it was like about 4 there. And then the bottom is Harrison, just a couple of years ago with our friend's dog Tito. Unfortunately, we lost Cooper a few years ago. She lived a nice, happy life with us. I think she was 16 when we finally lost her, so I think it was good. And who am I? Those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindy Scott. I've been a certified professional dog trainer for over 30 years now. I work closely with veterinarians. I have apprentices. People learn from me now. I'm Reiki level 2. So those of you that don't know, I'm always doing Reiki on your dogs, whether you know it or not, just giving them that extra little boost. And I am a Kong ambassador as well. And of all the letters after my name there, I love the title Mom the best, really. And actually, it was the one I had to work hardest for, believe it or not. But here are my little monkeys at the bottom there, Harrison and Alex, when they were little, and all of our dogs at that time. And there's Cooper at the bottom, in her prime right there. So peace, let's talk about peace. And that survey that I sent out last week, I believe it was, I thank you so much for all your responses, but it was really interesting to me that there was a theme through all of them of what you wanted with your dog was peace. And isn't that what we all want with all of our relationships and just our lives in general is peace. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to go through the letters of peace, starting with P for positive, and positive is at the top. It's all about the positives. You have to teach what you want. I don't want them doing it because, again, they're doing it out of fear of punishment or because I have some medieval device on them trying to physically control them. You get a much more reliable, consistent response if you use positive reinforcement. And what I use is operant conditioning, classical conditioning, and all of the psychology in between. So what it really comes down to is the counter conditioning, which means that your dog can't be doing the wrong thing if he's doing the right thing. He can't be doing two mutually exclusive behaviors. So he can't be sitting if he's jumping. He can't be jumping if he's sitting. He can't be barking if he's quiet. It's the universal law of replacement. I have to stick in some philosophy and here with you guys. So using positive reward-based techniques, it's the way to go. You don't have to worry about making a mistake because, well, first of all, we all make mistakes. You're bound to make mistakes. But if you make a mistake with the positive, you just go back and you try it again. If your timing was slow the first time, or if your dog just didn't understand what you wanted, you just try it again. And then when he does the right thing, you reinforce it and he goes, aha, this is what they want me to do. So it's trial and error learning a lot of this, and knowing that your dog will make mistakes. You will make mistakes. We want to keep our expectations in check and have fun with it. You know, if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. Why would the dog? And E is for exercise. This is my continuous rant that I do. Exercise, 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 exercise. A naughty dog is simply a bored dog, a dog that has too much time on his hands. And depending on the age of your dog, the breed of your dog, how much energy they're going to have. Obviously, a 6-month-old lab has way more energy than a 6-year-old lab. And a lab has more energy than maybe a basset hound or a bloodhound, maybe some of those dogs. So know your dog and keep them engaged. Instead of running around punishing them for doing the wrong thing, let's teach them to do the right thing. Again, if they're doing the right thing, they're not doing the wrong thing. And 90 to 99.9% of behavior problems simply because they're bored. They don't know what to do with themselves. And remember, it's the mental stimulation as much as the physical. We all know how important physical exercise is, but the mental exercise is just of important or even more important to your dog. So the equation to remember is 5 minutes of mental equals 20 minutes of physical. Yeah, it's that drastic. So the best ways to exercise your dog are training sequences, which is not only working on the consistency and reliability of those commands, it's also rewarding your dog for paying attention to you. Whereas just running him around the backyard, or worse yet, just being left in the backyard on his own accord, he's learning to ignore you and he's learning to go self-employed. So that's when your dogs are going to be digging up things. I hear people complaining, my dog digs in the roses. He, you know, ruined our sprinklers, blah, 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 blah. That's a bored dog. It's a bored dog. It's not your dog's fault. It's yours. You needed to occupy him. You needed to exercise him. And here are a couple of ways to exercise, a couple of examples with my Rudy and, oh, my Iggy. We miss Iggy so much. You know, that's the thing is, you know, we have such short amount of time with our dogs, and we never know where they may have some illness like Iggy that come up and we lose them completely unexpectedly. So enjoy what you can out of your dog and not get caught up in the struggle, I guess, you know. And this agility that I'm doing with them, it's such an easy way, physical, mental enrichment. You know, something as simple as boxes and hula hoops can be made into agility equipment. And those of you that have taken my agility class, you know that we work on not just doing the obstacles, but also giving you some ideas on how to make your own obstacles with stuff you have around the house. I don't want you to spend $1 million on agility equipment, and you certainly could. And then there's walking your dog. I love this little dog. He's so cute. Walking your dog, it's mental enrichment, it's physical. I think it's good for us. You know, you can tell your treadmill no, but you can't tell your dog no, right? When they want to go for a walk. And this is why dog owners are just healthier, I think, than non-dog owners, because they make us do stuff. And this little dog is sporting the gentle leader. If you've never seen a gentle leader, it's like a bridle for a horse. It's a fabulous, fabulous invention. It works with your dog's natural instincts instead of against them. And especially in little dogs like this, I really don't like have anything around their neck when I'm walking them, because even a little bit of pressure on that throat can cause some larynx, some trachea issues. So nothing around the neck. Now they should have like a collar on just with their ID, but we don't want to walk them on that. So it would be a gentle leader or a harness. And then A is for adventure. Take your dog out, take your dog on field trips. You know, the only way for your dog to learn how to behave in the real world is to take him there. But we don't want to just cross our fingers and hope for the best. We want to teach him how he's supposed to behave. So that's why I love the urban canine class that we do, where it's just repeatedly teaching them in different locations and exposing them to different things. I mean, we can't set up for every distraction that may happen because we just don't know what may happen, you know. But being intentional when you take them out, so you're prepared for those teaching moments. Every moment is a teachable moment, right? And dogs are super bad at generalizing. They're great discriminators, bad generalizers. So if you only work with your dog in the living room, they only know it in the living room. So that's why we want to practice in different situations. If you only take them to the one Starbucks, they don't know it with the one across the street. So it's a continually testing. And here are some adventures, field trips we take our dogs to. Breweries are such a great place to train because you get a treat too. I mean, it's a win-win, right? And I don't know what restaurant we were with this other one. I think this is Cafe Press or Bruxy's, someplace downtown. We take them. But they love going out, and you know, people see them, and it's a good thing. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong thing. There we go. So this is a picture of our dog Bodhi. Again, miss him every single day. Another one, even though I think he was 17 when we lost him. Just too soon, too soon. But here he is helping Gary picking out his last car. Gary took him to the BMW dealer with him. And I just thought, you know, it's a poodle's natural habitat, the BMW dealer, right? And the car that Gary wanted, he actually had to go to Beverly Hills to get it. It was the only dealer that had it. So I'm like, it's a poodle at a BMW dealer in Beverly Hills. Why not, right? And it was especially really good because Bodhi he was obviously a rescue dog. All of our dogs are rescue dogs. He came from not such a great start in life. And the fact that he ends up in Beverly Hills picking out a new BMW, I just thought was wonderful. I love a happy ending. And this is happy endings. My favorite place is Huntington Dog Beach. Well, at Dog Beach in general, this happens to be Huntington, and taking the dogs out, just having a wonderful typical Orange County day with your dogs. But this is the benefit that you reap from the training, you know, that we can trust them off leash, that they listen to us, that they come back. And again, I don't have to rely on some sort of device that isn't waterproof, or that I have to have a leash on them so that they'll listen to me. They're having a great time, we're having a great time, and they're doing it because they want to do it. No force, nothing. So C, we're on to C. So compassion. See the situations from your dog's point of view. Have compassion for what your dog is going through. He's trying to understand you. He doesn't speak your language either. And a lot of the misbehavior is simply because he doesn't understand. We tend to project a lot onto our dogs. Oh my gosh, I've heard so much over the years. He's doing it because he's trying to get back at me. He's doing it because he's mad at me. He's doing it because he's passive aggressive. That was the best one I heard. There's no scientific evidence for that, but there is a lot of evidence that your dog just doesn't understand. If he knew what he was supposed to do, he would do it. Why do dogs dig? They're dogs. Why do dogs bark? They're dogs. Why do they misbehave? Because they just don't understand what they're supposed to do. Humans, we love a good story. We always want to make things more complicated than they are. But I am a firm believer in Occam's razor, which is the simplest answer is usually the most correct. So why is your dog misbehaving? he's a dog and he just doesn't understand what you want. So we want to work on our communication skills and our timing and honing all of those things so that we can better communicate what we want with them. And then they'll be like, oh, this is what you want. Okay. And then be compassionate with yourself. We're always our worst critics, aren't we? So if you get it wrong, if your timing is slow, just laugh it off. It's going to happen. Again, keep those expectations real. It's going to happen. You're going to make mistakes. Your dog's going to make mistakes. You laugh later, you laugh now. So laugh now and know that you're not perfect. I hate to break this to you. You're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. And when you make mistakes, just be kind to yourself. Consistency, another C for you. I couldn't pick just one. So here's another C, consistency. Trainings for life. You have to be consistent. The rules are the same from day to day, interaction to interaction. So it's not fair to let your dog jump all over you and encourage them to go crazy when you get home one day, but then the next day when you get home and you're in a bad mood, or you've been to the dentist and maybe you're sore, or you had surgery on your arm, or who knows what, to get mad at them for doing the same behavior because you've been rewarding it. They don't know that you were just at the dentist. They don't know that you just had your shoulder operated on or whatever, or they don't know you're in a bad mood, although some dogs can read that off of you, but not initially when you first come home. So be consistent with the rules, what's expected of them on a daily basis. It's not fair to encourage them to jump on you when they're a tiny little pup, but then as they grow and they're 50, 60, 100 pounds, to get mad at them for doing the same behavior. They don't have that self-awareness that now they weigh 100 pounds or they're actually taller than you. So be consistent. And then also being consistent with the training. So if you slack off, so does your dog. So you can't just do, I wish it were true, a 6-week invasive, really intensive training program and your dog is doing great, da, 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 da. And then you don't have to do anything the rest of their life. Or you can pay somebody else a bunch of money to train your dog, do an intensive 2-week, 4-week training program, and then bring them home and you don't have to do anything. It just doesn't work that way. Because again, if you slack off, your dog will be like, oh, I guess those rules aren't here now, so I can do this now. It's about training the owner to reinforce what you want. If the owner doesn't get trained along with the dog, then if the owner's is still doing their bad habits, then the dog will revert back to their bad habits. I've seen so many people waste so much money on those boarding trains because they don't pull the owner in. And that's why we use a lot of auto training, the making them work for everything. Nothing is free program. They have to sit and come and do this and that for everything they find enjoyable in life. So that way you're training them all day long without even having to think about it. And of course, another reason that we do the ongoing classes and even my programs where, it's year-long classes. So it keeps you on track and doing this because your dog's only going to do it if you do it. And then enlightenment, you knew the E had to be for enlightenment. Enlightenment is my tagline for a reason. And I call it Enlightened Training, my Enlightened Dog Program, my Zen Dog Program. It's all enlightenment. And the definition of enlightenment is really having knowledge and understanding. And I want you to understand these principles as much as your dog does, because again, it's for life. And I want you to know these things, not just for puppyhood, but for when your dog's middle age, when they're seniors, throughout your current dog's life, but also for the next dog and the next dog. Knowledge is power. And the more you know about something, the more power you have. You just can't have too much information. And all of these techniques are based on science. This isn't just something that I did once and went, oh, I guess this works, I'm going to do it. No, this is based on psychological principles, operant conditioning, classical conditioning. So they're measurable. We can measure how effective they are, and they're duplicatable. So just because they work for me, they're going to work for you. They're going to work for everybody that uses it. A lot of trainers, a lot of dog owners are just really intuitive about what to do and how to make things work. They're very intuitive with their timing, but we call that being unconsciously competent. I want you to be consciously competent. I want you to know why these things are working, not just how to get them to work, so that you can transfer them from dog to dog to dog. Um, and I hate to use the word training. That's why I use teaching more. And it really is teaching your dog, teaching the other people in your life, and giving them this knowledge and this understanding. And then another E, I couldn't decide on just one. So another E is enrichment. You knew enrichment had to be in there. Again, keep them busy. This goes back to the exercise. You have to keep them busy. A bored dog is just a naughty dog. My mantra that I tell you all the time is a tired dog is a happy owner. If you find yourself going, the dog, it just means that they're bored. They need something to do. And we do want to do it preemptively. Don't wait for your dog to be barking at those squirrels and then give him a stuffed Kong, because then guess what? You're rewarding him for barking at the squirrels. He goes, oh, I bark at squirrels. They give me a Kong. This is great. Or, pulling the chips off of your counter or whatever, doing all that counter surfing. We want to do it before they get bored. And that's why take away those food bowls. Take away those food bowls. If you're still feeding in a bowl, you're missing huge training opportunities. And I know it's a paradigm shift for those of you that haven't heard this before, but we want mealtime to be training time for so many reasons. So many reasons this works. But really keeping them exercised is job number one, and keeping them enriched. So you can just take their meal instead of feeding them in a bowl and it takes maybe 10 seconds to eat. Use the meal, the kibble. You can make little meatballs out of the wet food, whatever. Make them use it as a treat. So make them do come, sit down, run them through their repertoire for their meal. And then again, it puts your training on autopilot because you got to feed them twice a day, right? And then what's left over, you put in a toy, put in a treat dispensing toy like a Kong. And that's going to keep them busier longer. And I've got so many videos up on how to stuff a Kong, how to use a Kong, and I'll be doing more to be sure. But put those treats in a toy, make your dog work. And I included a few pictures here because a picture really is worth 1,000 words of some different enrichment things you can do with your dog. This little white dog at the top on the bicycle, that was in Central Park. I took that a year or two ago when I was in New York. And it's just such a great way to get your dog out, especially a little dog that has little legs. They get tired. So you can just put him on your bike with you so he can still be out getting that enrichment, getting that socialization, all of that stimulation, even if maybe his little legs can't keep up. And of course, the little puppy at the bottom with a Kong. I'm sure it's stuffed with food. Uh, Empty Kongs are great, but stuffed with food, that just knocks it up a few notches, you know? And then there's Reggie with his toy stash. He's a bit of a hoarder. He's got a bit of an addiction problem, I think, but he's always got a bunch of toys, and we always have to keep putting them back. He brings them to his bed, and he's a doodle, so he doesn't chew on them, he doesn't rip them apart. He just, carries them around his mouth all the time and lays on them and snuggles with them, as a doodle do, I suppose. And then another E, education. Again, back to that learning is lifelong. I know I sound like a broken record, but it bears repeating. Behavior is always changing. It never stays the same. There's no homeostasis, okay? Us too, we're always changing. And dogs go through different stages of development. So in puppyhood, that's their neonatal period. Once they reach adolescence at about 5, 6, 7 months, depending on the breed, they become teenagers. So they're just developmentally able to do more than they could in their neonatal period. And then as they get to be seniors and middle age, their behavior changes a little bit too. So when they go through those different life changes, that's when we see fears develop, reactivity develop, different things that maybe we weren't seeing before. Again, one, just because they're able to do more in adolescence. And then as they get to their older stages of life, it's changing as well. Their needs aren't the same. So we want to educate your dog, but also want to educate you and to give you and your dog that flexibility to adapt to your lifestyle changes. So hopefully dogs, the average lifespan is about 10 to 12 years, depending on the breed. Hopefully you get a whole lot more out of that, and your life is going to change in that 10 to 15 years. You may move to a new home, to a new city, to an apartment, someplace different. You may move in with family. Family may move in with you. You may be traveling. Different things can occur, and we want to give your dog that flexibility to go with you. I don't want you to have to rehome your dog just because your stage of life has changed. So keep going with the training and keep having fun while we're doing it. It's just about that continual lifelong education because it never ends. So where do you start? What do you do? Well, you have two choices with your training. You can DIY it. You can piece together, YouTube videos, the Google trainer. But I know that can be very confusing. One trainer says you have to do it this way, another one says you have to do it this way, and blah, 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 blah. And then there's trainers on there that have questionable certifications and experience. And I see a lot of stuff online, and I'm like, where the timing is completely off or the ideology is outdated. There's a lot of outdated ideology out there, and it's a whole nother video. That whole dominance theory, the biologist that originated it has said he very much regrets it. It's his biggest mistake. So you want a trainer that's up on the latest information and is continuing their education. So you can DIY that, or you can hire a coach. And hiring a coach, same thing. You want to check out the certifications, the experience, all of that. I've heard so many bad stories, not just people being ripped off by trainers where they take their money and they just don't show up, or trainers that are using very harsh techniques and creating more problems than they solve. Let me put it that way. But hiring a coach for anything you're doing in life is a great way to save time, effort, money in the long run, all of that frustration and struggle. And with dog training, there's the private training that we do where I come to you, or I come to your home, I come to the park or your business, wherever we need to work with them. The group classes, you come to my location, you work with a number of dogs at the same time. It's that in-person, whether it's for private coaching, group class, and then there's the online stuff like this, which enables me to reach more people, which is so important to me at this point in my career, where I just want to get this information out to as many people as possible. I want no dog left behind. I am so tired of the stories that I hear, dogs ending up at the shelters because they jump or they're not potty broken, or stuff that behavior wise is not difficult to modify. So I want to get this information out there, and the digital way to do it just makes it super easy. So that's why with all of my programs, I include the digital course. So you can have class replays, bonus training modules, not just the video, the PDFs, lots of stuff, again, to educate you. The more you know, the better you can communicate with your dog. And so there's a couple of programs that I do have I wanted to share with you. My Divine Canine program, and this includes everything. This is unlimited group classes for the year. I know it says 4 weeks, but that's a typo. It's unlimited classes for the year. So you come to all the group classes as much as you want, all the different events that I have, the special training, the master classes that I do. It's all included. And it also includes 5 private one-on-one sessions with me. I'm not going to, delegate out and send another trainer to you. It's always with me. And we meet at your home, at the park, at the store, wherever we need to meet with your dog. And then it also includes lifetime access to that digital course with all the bonus material. So 6 months, 6 years, you can go back and go, what'd she say about that? And rewatch all of it. It's all there for you. And I also include a WAG swag bag, say that 10 times fast. So that's your trainer starting kit. So that comes with super premium treats. I'm such a food snob, super premium dry dog food, and a specially selected toy for your dog. So it's all there for you. And if you want more information about the food, again, I've got a bunch of videos on YouTube. I'll be doing more presentations like this on food. I could talk for hours on end just about food. And then with this program, you always get 20% discount on any services. So that includes renewal. I have people that renew every year for this and just keep doing refreshers. Or any other service. If there's an add-on that you wanted to do, it's 20% off on everything. And the investment is just $21.75. And I do have 2 payment plans for you. Now, the 3-month one I've had forever, but I just started doing this $199 for 12 months. So again, I want to make this as easy and as accessible for you and your dog to get the benefits of all of this information. So it's just a dollar. It's just $199 for 12 months. I wish it was just $1.99. So it's easy peasy. And then there's the Zen Dog program. So this is unlimited group classes for the year. Group classes, events, master classes, and this is for 12 months starting when you sign up. It's not from January to January. It's whenever you sign up. And then that also includes a year access to the digital course with all the bonus training. So you get limited access to that for a year. And then you also get that 20% discount on any services. So if you wanted to do the program, but maybe just wanted like 1 or 2 private sessions, we can add that on for you. And then of course, renewing it. And I have many people that renew this every year. So it's like just their keep up with their dog. And I've had people, oh my gosh, 6, 7 years in a row that do this. So it's fun. Training should be fun. And it's the investment on that, it's less than $1,000. And I do have a couple of payment plans for that. You can do the 333 for 3 months. I like my alliterations there, my repeat numbers. Or my brand new one is just $99 for 12 months. So less than $100, you have access to all of this. Again, I can't make it any easier for you. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be doing these 99 ones, because if I get too many people signing up, I'm going to have to cap it and put a limit. So I would take advantage of that if this is something that speaks to you and to your dog. And if you want more information, here are their direct links. You can take a screenshot of this. You like my little QR codes? I'm getting into the technology a bit more here. So you can just screenshot it, come back, or you can do it right now with your camera. You just put your camera on it and it'll take you straight to the site. Or you can take down the addresses, however you want to do it. But go to the links. There's more information. If you want to enroll, you enroll right online. Once I get your enrollment, especially for the Divine Canine program, then I contact you personally. Everything is personal. and we set up your first in-home training session. But once you enroll, you get immediate access to all that online stuff so you can start right away. And if you want more information, absolutely go to my website. Everything is up there, all of my programs, all of my classes. All the pricing is up there on everything I do. I say I'm super transparent. The only games I play are with dogs. So, there's no salesy stuff. Everything is up there. If you have questions, you can always reach me. You can always text me, DM me on this, send me a link, whatever, if you have questions. And please follow me on Instagram and Facebook here if you're not already following me. I'm at Sid Scott. Apparently, there are a lot of Cindy Scotts in the world. Who knew? My parents had zero imagination when they named me, but there's no Sid Scotts. And Sid is a nickname I've had since, oh my gosh, elementary school. I don't even remember, maybe second grade, third grade. I don't know. My whole family calls me Sid. Everybody calls me Sid. My kids call me Sid when they can't get my attention. When mommy doesn't work, they call me Sid. So anyway, it's at Sid Scott if you want to reach me for anything. And please follow me. And I will stop the sharing. There I am. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you learned a few things that you can put into practice to improve that relationship, that bond with your dog. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And go give yourself a treat for taking the time to learn some information about your dog. But go play with your dog, have fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. And till next time, happy Valentine's Day.